For those of you who might need a little refresher on how to use Padlet, here it is for you. So basically, you go to Padlet.com, and if you haven't ever signed up before, you're going to go ahead and sign up. It's free, and then you'll use your Google credentials to sign in. But for me, I'm already a user, so I'm just going to log in. I'm going to click Log in with Google. And then here's my Jeffco stuff. And so if I want to create a Padlet, it's pretty easy. I just go up here to make a Padlet. And for the assignment that we're going to be doing today, where I'm going to ask you guys to make connections between the different key terms that I gave you for the Vietnam War, you're going to click on Canvas, this one. Now there's all kinds of different cool ones that you can make as well, but for today, we're doing Canvas. And then you'll see over here on the right, you've got a bunch of different things you need to do. So I need to give it a title. So in this case, it is Key Terms for Vietnam War. And then in the description, what I'll ask you guys to do is make sure to put in your names. So all of the collaborators go here. So all group members' names go here. Okay, so please make sure to do that so everybody gets credit. Then what you want to do is you want to pick your background or your wallpaper or whatever. So you have a wide variety of choices. You can use whatever you want. I decided on camouflage for one I made before. Might be a little cliche. But anyway, let's go with this one for right now. And then I go back. I use a little back arrow. And now I go down and I can choose the post color. Do I want it to be light or do I want it to be dark? I'm going to choose dark. And then if I want to change the font, I can. So I'm going to change it to this one. Why not? And then I get to symbolize what the Padlet's all about. And for me, it's kind of about mapping stuff out or whatever. You might see it a different way. If you wanted to do illustrate, you might do something like this. Doesn't really matter. So choose your icon. And then down here, let's go ahead and do attribution so it displays the author's name for each post. That's how I'll know that different group members were working together. Profanity filter we don't really need because we're not going to be using profanity, but just in case. And then if you want to allow comments, go ahead and do that because when I look at your Padlet, I might add a couple of comments on there for you. And reactions are good too. And let's go ahead and do stars. So you can give the post anywhere from 1 to 5 different stars. Don't worry about tags. And then here's your address down here. So for your address, you can change it to something like My Awesome Vietnam Padlet, whatever you want it to be. It doesn't really matter. But this is the web address that eventually you'll wind up sending me so that I can take a look at your Padlet and score it. So for now, I'm going to say Vietnam example. And you have to blend it all together, otherwise it gets mad. And then I'm going to click on Next. Next up here, this is important for privacy. Click on Public. And those with access can write in this case because basically you can see the different reasons here. I mean, if you were just showing this to the class but you didn't want anyone else to have rights to add stuff or to change your posts or whatever, then you would say can read. Like my example that I made for you guys is can read. But for can write, this is where a person can view it, they can add posts, they cannot edit and approve others' posts though. Okay, so they can't change other stuff that you've already done, but they can add to it. And can moderate, yeah, so you can read the difference there, whatever. Let's just do can write for this. Okay, now for adding contributors, this is going to be important for you guys as well. You're going to want to go ahead and add in your different contributors. Okay, so it might be a deal where each one of you needs to create a different account for Padlet, and then you can all contribute on the same one. That's a possibility that I'm thinking of as I'm looking at this. Okay, that's me, right? So I'm my own contributor. So everybody make sure that you sign up for an account in the group real quick so that then you can all contribute, right? Although it does say you can enter an email address too, and that should work. So we'll have to experiment with that. Anyway, you can allow others to remake it if you want. It won't affect your original Padlet. And then moderation, if you don't want people to post stuff without you approving it as the administrator, Then you can say you want to moderate. I wouldn't worry about that button for right now. Then go up to next. And now you're all set to start posting. And so this is the fun part, where now that you've set it up, you get to go ahead and you click on this little plus sign down here. And what it'll do is create this for you. Now you can move it around just by placing your arrow kind of close to those little lines. Okay? You can title it, which is important. So for whatever term you're going to use, like if you're going to use the My Lai massacre is one of our terms. Then in this space here, you're going to go ahead, where it says write something, you're going to go ahead and write in your definition of the what happened, who was involved, where it happened, and when or what duration. Okay, so you're going to give your explanation in here, and please do write this part in full sentences so that you're giving a good explanation of it. And then down here, this is the cool part where you can add a link. So you can link up other information to it if you wish, which you might want to do. You can also snap a picture, or you can add videos, like you can give access to your camera. Like that. You can also do some other stuff that is right here. You can pick a file from your computer or from your Chromebook. Like let's say if you have a picture that's on your desktop or something like that, then you can do that. You can search Google for different images if you wish. Like let's say if I'm going to search for images, oh my goodness, wow. Those are pretty powerful. Of the My Lai massacre, you just want to make sure that it is actually what you want it to be. So you might want to double check on that. Okay? Pretty sure that these are accurate though. It was an awful thing. Alright, so you can add in a picture like so. And then once you're done, you just click away from it. And you can see that star rating is there, and other people are able to add a comment, which would be me, right? And then you go ahead and click on another one. And let's say if this one is the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. I can also expand my posts if I want to. I can make them wider, whatever. And then for this one, if I want to add in some kind of a link or whatever, first I'm going to describe it. I didn't do that for either one to save some time here, but you get my drift. You can see my example and all that stuff. Once you are done doing all of that, the next thing is you want to connect them, right? You want to show how do these different ideas connect. So what you do is you click on, you hover over and you click on these three little dots, and then it'll say edit post, you can connect, you can bring it to the front, and so on, right? We want to connect. So I'm going to click on that. Now label, you want to label, it is not optional, so please do label it. So 2 instances of U.S. government withholding info. And you can kind of abbreviate on those. Those don't have to be complete sentences because you won't get enough space. But now you can see there's a connection between the two, and if I stretch them out, then I'm able to see what the connection is. Okay? So that is how Padlet works. That's just a short little tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, actually, one thing before I sign off here is you want to make sure that you do share your Padlet. You can invite people to collaborate with you here also by doing these three little dots, right? And this is after the fact if you already created it. You can modify it or make some changes to it. But here is where you would share it. Okay? So you want to make sure to copy the link to this Padlet. All right, and it'll say copied Padlet URL to your clipboard, and then paste it into the assignment that's in Classroom. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Another thing that you might want to do just to be safe is you might want to go ahead and add me as a collaborator as well, so you can invite me. Just make sure to type in my email address, which is cshapiro@jeffcoschools.us. Okay? All right, and that should be it. Good luck.